Here we go, the quote. It's by it's Ram Dass, who is an American, used to be a Harvard professor, and in the 70s he went to India and spent a lot of time uh, there, and was sent by his Indian guru back to the United States to spread the ideas of you know, how to be a good yogi to Westerners. And his quote that is really beautiful analogy for us about trees is, when you go out into the woods and you look at trees, you see all these different trees. And some of them are bent, and some of them are straight, and some of them are evergreens, and some of them are whatever. And you look at the tree and you allow it. You see why it is the way it is. You sort of understand that it didn't get enough light, and so it turned that way. And you don't get emotional about it. You just allow it. You appreciate the tree. The minute you get near humans, you lose all that. You are, and you are constantly saying you are to this or I'm to this. That judgment mind comes in. And so I practice turning people into trees, which means appreciating them just the way they are. And Ram Dass died less than a year ago, so it's nice to honor him a little bit because he's a pretty cool guy. So we're going to be thinking about being trees today and looking at ourselves and others like trees and acknowledging the beauty just the way we are. So let's stand in a mountain, maybe give yourself a wiggle, and notice your connection with the ground. Maybe even lift up all your toes and let them down again. I think a good way to really sort of glue your feet to the ground is to have that weight distribution by shifting a little bit. So maybe try little baby circles. And if you want an added challenge, close your eyes and switch directions if you haven't gone both directions already. Ooh. And notice the way the weight shifts as you move around in your baby circle, and then just kind of come into neutral. If your eyes are closed, just keep them closed for a second and notice the idea of the sensation of almost gluing your feet to the ground, just really giving a space to have that connection with whatever you're standing on. Sorry, it's going to let someone in. So back in my, let's start with a side bend. So I'm going to, big inhale up, and then I'm going to leaning over to one side and stay over to one side for a breath or two. Maybe even lift up that heel on the side you're bending towards to accentuate the side bend. And go ahead and come on up on your next inhale, big breath up, and exhale over to the other side. Keep breathing. Maybe lift up that heel on that side. Go ahead and come on up and bring it down. Give it a wiggle. And let's do washing machine. So just twisting back and forth. And then come to neutral, and we're going to do two different twists. One is where you keep your hips facing forward. You bring your arms up into a T, and then twist so that you're looking over one hand and the other hand is directly behind you. But I'm keeping my hips facing forward. So notice where that stretches, particularly in the back arm, maybe in your neck, your shoulder, maybe your trapezius. And then we're going to inhale both arms overhead and switch sides. Notice how the side might be different. Notice where your head is, if it's still in line or if you've pushed it forward. Notice where you're feeling the stretch. We're going to inhale up and exhale, arms down. And then a different way to do that, a similar stretch, instead of keeping your hips facing forward, start the twist at your feet and end it at the top of your head. So pick a direction to go. I don't care what you do with your arms, just starting at the twist at your feet. Turn your whole body around, including your head. Do whatever your arms want to do. Notice your breathing. And when you're ready, go ahead and release and go to the other side. Starting at your feet, twist from your feet up the top of your head. Probably look back behind you. Go on in, come on back to neutral. Let somebody else in. Good. And then let's do just big hip circles because they're fun and they feel good. And switch directions. And then come back up to neutral, and we're going to do a little bit of a balance flow by shifting our weight to one foot. I'm shifting over my weight to my left side, lifting my right foot and my left arm, and then gently putting both of them down and switching sides. And do this little movement as smoothly and as gracefully as you possibly can. And as you raise your arm and your leg up, it's usually an inhale, matching your breath with your movement. And exhale as you bring everything down. And one more on each side. And then just kind of come back to neutral. And we're going to increase our surface area, our connection with the ground, by doing a wide-legged stretch, or we're going to go into a sumo stretch. Let's start just with our knees, our legs straight, and our feet pointed, our toes pointed wide or towards the corners of your room or whatever. And then just kind of like notice, give yourself a little inner thigh stretch on both sides as we just sort of warm up in almost a side lunge. And then let's go ahead and drop down into a sort of a sumo squat. And I'm going to start with my arms or my hands on my thighs and just do shoulder dips. And then go ahead and come on up and try to have your legs and arms in basically 90-degree angles-ish. Um, so the legs are in sumo squat. It's also called horse, right? And it's also called goddess pose. So this is sort of strength. God is called goddess pose. And if we can pulse this one too. So if you inhale and just bring your arms and legs into sort of an X shape, straighten everything, and then bend everything again on an exhale. Inhale, straighten an X, exhale, drop down, and inhale, straighten an X, and exhale, drop down. Then inhale, straighten an X, and just give yourself a wiggle. We're gonna come back to that sort of sequence of the little pulsy things. But before we go there, we're going to do a wide leg forward fold. And you want to bring your feet, twist your feet orientation so that your toes are maybe even a little bit turned in. And when you have your feet turned in like that, it helps with that internal rotation of your thighs to help you get down a little bit further. Some of you might want to use a block if that's available to you. So basically just give us a big inhale. And on your exhale, go ahead and fold forward as far as your body wants to go. And you might want to, if the ground isn't there, use a block to bring the ground a little bit closer to you. And see if you can let your head dangle and internally rotate both of your femurs so that you're popping your booty a little bit, and shift your weight towards the balls of your foot rather than everything in the heels. And again, from here, just kind of bend your one knee and leave the other one straight for just a different version of that inner thigh stretch, and switch sides. And then straighten both legs and bring both hands towards one of your feet, and for more of a side stretch of your torso. Come back through center to the other side. Come back to neutral and see if the ground is a little bit closer after being here for a second. And we're going to come out of it, but come out of it by starting halfway. So bring your torso more parallel to the ground and maybe put your hands on your hips. And this helps your blood flow adjust so that you're not going to fall over, hopefully, and be dizzy when you come all the way up. And so when you're ready, bring your torso back up to vertical, and hopefully you're not falling over. Okay, awesome. We're going to do a little flow from here. Bring your right foot parallel to the front of your mat, so twisting that foot out, and leave your foot back foot is as it is, or turn it in a teeny bit more for warrior one. So from here, if I drop into my warrior one, my knees a little bit, I need a wider stance. So I'm going to wiggle my foot out a little bit so that when I drop into my warrior one, I still have my knee over my ankle and I can see my toes. So remember, warrior one is twisting your torso so your shoulders are parallel with the front of your mat, and add your arms. And we'll just be here for about a count of 3. Or 3 breaths if that is how you're breathing right now. Then one more inhale here and exhale, bring your arms to a T for warrior two. So super strong arms. And again, about a count of 3 here. And go ahead and straighten that front leg. We could keep our arms pretty much as they are, but teeter-totter our torso over to triangle. So remember, try to bend at your hip crease as opposed to at your waist for triangle. So reach forward and then stack your shoulders so your arms are still in a T. If you want to block or use your shin, but really reach for the sky or your ceiling and push into the floor or your shin or your block, and try not to have a shoulder collapse here, right? Push out of that shoulder and keep breathing. And then go ahead and come back up, and to switch sides, we're just gonna switch our feet. So my left foot is now pointing that way, and my back foot, which is now my back foot, has been twisted in a teeny bit. Turn my torso towards this side of my mat, drop into my lunge, add my arms, and keep breathing. One more big inhale here, and exhale, warrior two. Super strong arms. And then straightening my front leg, reaching forward to from my hip crease, and then dropping my shin, or my hand to my shin, or my block, reaching for the ceiling and pushing into the ground. Strong arms still. And then move this out of the way because we're going to bring our feet together, or pretty much together. At this side of the mat, give yourself a wiggle and notice your mountain from this end. And from here, we're going to do little chair pulses. And remember, chair is basically a squat. So I like it when my feet are still basically in mountain stacked. If you prefer to have your feet together, that's fine too. So check in with your mountain. Notice your connection with the ground. Glue those feet into whatever you're standing on. And then on your next inhale, drop into a chair. And for this squat, our arms are kind of next to our ears. And keep breathing. Reach a little bit higher. And drop a teeny bit more. And then go ahead and come on up. We're going to do a little bit of pulses with that. So inhale and exhale with in and out of chair. So inhale, chair. Exhale, stand up. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand up. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand up. I'm going to add on a little fun pose, a little bit of a challenge pose, which I call bird. It's from chair. So inhale, chair, and then bring your torso kind of parallel to the ground, maybe even rested on your thighs. Your arms come out straight behind you, and then you lift your heels in a baby balance pose. Bring your heels down, chair for 1 second, and stand up. So we're going to do that a couple times just to get that into a flow. So inhale, chair. Exhale, lean forward, lift your heels, arms back. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand up. Let's do it again. Inhale, chair. Exhale, lift your heels. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand up. Now we're going to link these poses together in a little dance around our whole mat, a little mandala. So here we go. Check in. And at your next inhale, drop into chair. Exhale, lean forward, lift your heels. Inhale, chair. Exhale, lean forward, lift your heels. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand up. Inhale, big giant step forward for our sumo. And go ahead. So inhale, big X. Exhale, squat down. Inhale, X. Exhale, squat. Inhale, X. Exhale, squat. Inhale, X. Exhale, other side. Inhale, chair. Exhale, lean forward, lift your heels. Inhale, chair. Exhale, lean forward, lift your heels. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand up. Big step with the right foot. Now I'm facing away. Inhale, X. Exhale, squat. Inhale, X. Exhale, squat. Inhale, X. Exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, X. Exhale, back where we started. Let's do it all again. Inhale, chair. Exhale, bird. Inhale, chair. Exhale, bird. Woo. Inhale, chair. Exhale, bird. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand up. Inhale, big X. Exhale, squat. Inhale, X. Exhale, squat. Inhale, X. Exhale, squat. Inhale, X. Exhale, feet together. Inhale, chair. Exhale, lean forward, lift your heels. Inhale, chair. Exhale, bird. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand up. Last side. Inhale, X. Exhale, squat. Inhale, X. Exhale, squat. Inhale, X. Exhale, squat. Inhale, X. Exhale, feet together, right where we started. Yay! Give yourself a wiggle and congratulate yourself. That's a lot of squats. Okay, so if you joined us late, I asked you to grab some kind of something to work as a strap. I grabbed a, what is this, a bathrobe belt. A towel works, rag works, rope works, whatever. A strap works. We're going to do a couple warm-up poses before we use it, and they're all little balance poses. So I'm going to really connect with my mountain and think about that connection with the ground and pushing into the ground to pulling my head up taller, like having gecko feet gluing into the ground. And we're going to start with a super easy balance. So shifting over to my weight into my left foot and raising my right knee, kind of like we did at the beginning, and actually grabbing it. If you need a strap here to give your arms a little length, notice what's wiggling. Notice how much you're balancing or not balancing. See if you can still be in mountain with shoulders back and head high. And if you fall out, can you be kind to yourself and just giggle a little bit and come back in? Go ahead and put both feet down on the ground and let's switch sides. So really connect with that right foot, glue it down, and then lift that left knee and see if you can grab it. It helps if you focus on one point, and it helps if you engage your belly, core stability kind of a thing. Ooh, look at that. And go ahead and come on down. And we're going to move, if you, instead of having your knee like this, if you bring it out to this side, that's basically a tree pose, and there's variations for tree. You can, what I like to call is kickstand, onto your calf, onto your thigh. Ooh, wobbly today. And then add branches and see if you can flow your tree in the breeze and maybe fall over. And remember, try not to have judgment about your tree. Your tree's great just the way it is. Woo! And let's go ahead and switch sides. So really glue the right foot down and then bring your thigh or your foot up to whatever level makes the most sense for you where you are right now. You can do all of this from a chair too if you need to. And add branches and flow in the breeze and almost try to make yourself fall over. If you'd like to, hop back in. And great. Those are the two prep poses for what we're going to use with our strap. And traditionally, this pose is hand to big toe pose. But that's usually not particularly accessible for people, particularly to have it with good form, which is you're basically in mountain, your legs just doing weird things. So I'm going to take my strap. We're going to start by lifting our right leg. I'm going to step on the strap basically at the ball of my foot. That's a little bit better than the arch of your foot. And then kind of be in mountain, shift my weight into the left leg and be super strong and lift my right foot straight. Keeping my torso straight as high as is comfortable for you. Whee. And then shift both sides of your strap into your right hand and bring your right leg out wide and maybe put your other hand on your hip, your left hand on your hip, and bring whatever is right for you, height-wise, out to the side. And then bring it forward again. This time, actually bend your head towards your extended leg. And then go ahead and put your foot down. I also want to be prepared, if you haven't figured it out yet, be prepared to drop your strap in case you start to fall. Um, Left foot, so I'm going to step on it at the ball of my foot, really going to ground in with my right foot, and then go ahead and raise it up. We Then go ahead and shift both hands or both sides of the strap into your left hand and bring your left leg out wide. Wherever it is for you. No judgment on your tree. Perfect, just the way it is. Go ahead and bring it forward and see if you can do a little bit of a forward fold into that leg. And go ahead and let it go. Give yourself a wiggle and congratulate yourself because that was pretty good. And we're keep it nearby. We're not quite done with it, but we are going to get to the ground. So let's just inhale and stretch. Exhale and forward fold and dangle for a sec. Then half forward fold. And then we're just going to get on to hands and knees. So, gently with kindness, get down onto your hands and knees and cross your legs, your feet behind you so you can come and sit on your butt. We're going to do Janu Shasana, which is runner's stretch, which is basically tree sitting down or half butterfly. So wherever it's right for you for your foot, and if you would like, use your strap around your extended foot and just to have a little bit of a different challenge in this forward fold. Try to keep your back super straight. So for some of us, it's almost like we're in a recliner because our hamstrings are pretty tight if we're keeping our back straight. Some of us are going to be able to lean forward, but notice the difference between a straight back and a collapsed back, right? So let's see what happens if we keep our back straight and use the strap to lengthen our arms. And you should be, most of us are feeling this in the hamstring and calf, depending on where you are at. And then go ahead and switch legs and lasso your other foot. Inhale tall, and then I'm going to lean in as much as I got while keeping my back pretty straight. Go ahead and release and come down on your back. I'm going to check something over here real quick. From your back, grab both knees and wiggle around for a little bit of self-massage. And then hold on to one knee. I'm going to pick my right and stretch out the left one so it's touching the ground. And so we're basically in flamingo like we were doing at the beginning and as our first of the balancy poses, but we're just doing it on the ground. And go ahead and switch sides. And then grab your strap again, and we're going to try those same poses that we were doing with our strap standing, but on the ground, from the ground. Um, so I've put my strap around my right foot, and you can keep your left leg bent or straight, whichever. This is less intense. This is probably more intense. And approaching vertical and approaching straight, whatever that looks like to you. So if you're down here and like this, and that's like pain in your hamstring, then that's exactly where you don't want to torque yourself, right? Then shift, if you have your right foot in the strap, shift the straps both into your right hand and bring your foot out wide. And I have constraints with my wall. Maybe you're hitting the coffee table or your bed, and just be okay with your room geometry. And then bringing back up to vertical, and then keeping both hips and both shoulders on the ground. I'm going to cross my leg over the midline, and you should feel it. For most of us, it's like an IT, outer thigh, maybe glute stretch. Go ahead, bring it back up to vertical and switch feet. And then if your left foot's up, then shift both straps, sides of the strap into your left hand and bring your left leg out wide, trying to keep both hips on the ground. Go ahead, bring it back up to vertical, and then cross over the midline of your body. You get an outer leg stretch. And back up to vertical and release. Grab the tops of your knees, wiggle. And then we're going to rock and roll to sitting for our meditation. And it's for this one, it is a little bit helpful to be sitting up as opposed to lying down. So just start to get connected to your breath again. And then start to notice all the points of contact between you and the ground. And then from all the places where your body is touching the ground, start to grow roots. So you're becoming your tree and growing roots into the ground. See if you can reach your roots all the way to the center of the earth. Now, because you have such a strong root foundation, allow some branches to grow out the top of your head. Now we're going to try to breathe with the earth. So pull up Earth's energy up your root system, through your body and out your branches. And exhale from your branches all the way back through the root system. Pulling energy up. And then if you want, you can see if there's any gunk that you can dislodge on your exhale and drop it off into the earth for recycling. Now we're going to add a little bit of a safe space meditation. So you're going to create a safe space for yourself. Options might be in the core of the earth, kind of a spaceship in the core of the earth, or in your root system, almost like a hobbit house, or in the trunk of your tree, like Winnie the Pooh, or a tree house, like on Endor or Pandora. If those are inspiration for you, create your space. And fill it with whatever you need to provide you with support and comfort. Might be pillows and cushions. If that seems too hot, maybe cooling pool. Notice the temperature of your space. Notice if there's a breeze. Notice any sounds. Might be sounds of nature. Might be music. Might be silence. Notice if there are any smells, something baking. We're going to need to leave our safe space. And for me, what I like to do is step out of it and shrink it in my imagination and put it in my pocket or find a place for it in my heart. Know that this space is available to me at any time, and I might find need for a place of support and safety and comfort. And let's take a couple breaths with our whole tree again. Notice the perfection of your tree just the way it is, despite its imperfections. And take one more deep breath. Maybe give yourself a stretch and find your favorite Shavasana position for the last 5 minutes of class. I'm going to stay seated, but you should be in whatever comfortable position is right for you. And once you're settled in, see if you can allow gravity to hold you in place even a little bit more, or grow a couple roots. Go ahead and start to lengthen your breathing again. Maybe start to wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe do wrist circles and ankle circles. Maybe give yourself a stretch. And gently, with kindness, bring yourself back up to sitting. And I hope that you are able to look upon others and yourself as trees today and a little bit moving forward, and that you appreciate the perfection of humanity despite its imperfections. Namaste, everybody.